Hey, welcome to the Hotty Toddy podcast. My name is Jack Couch.
With sports editor Adam Brown. Today we're going to look at the Ole Miss 2024 schedule along with some of the other key matchups for the SEC coming up next year.
Yeah, and this has been a hype up that's been happening for the past couple of weeks. It came out last week, and we've been really digesting and trying to figuring out what we liked in our schedule and what we didn't. I think the main takeaway that a lot of people are getting is that we don't have Vanderbilt anymore.
We don't have
and that's a key rivalry that's gone. I mean,
for the last 30 years or more, you play Vanderbilt as your Eastern opponent, but there are no Eastern or Western divisions anymore after this year coming up.
I still think the pod system would have been so much better, but I like how it's ending up, and then everybody gets to play Oklahoma and everybody gets to play Texas. And I saw that the other day that both Texas and Oklahoma put bids in to come into Ole Miss. So I assume on our 2025 schedule, Texas will be coming here.
Yeah, I was talking to you the night it came out. I think that, we get Oklahoma this year coming up, and then the following year we'll have Texas either come to Oxford or we go to Austin.
Yeah, completely agreed. And I think it's all going to be, part of this back and forth of, everybody wants to come to the Grove. We have one of the best atmospheres in all of sports. And everybody's like, let's definitely make a push too. So a big one that we have is Georgia at home. And I know a bunch of Georgia fans are from Georgia. They are pumped. I mean, we're going to have a great turnout. And, they're not the meanest people on the earth.
No.
It's not like having LSU fans up here like usual. And I was glad that we kept that rivalry for sure. And that's what's making everything so great is that we have a bunch of teams coming together that are normally, teams that we don't get to play a lot. So we get Georgia here and we get Oklahoma here. And I think we get Mississippi State here. And then we have, what's the last team? Kentucky here. Kentucky last time caused a lot of problems for us.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. Between Will Levis and all the fans, just going nuts over it. It was just a tough time to go in. So what are you thinking that you really like about our schedule this year?
I just like how, that we got to keep the M Bowl, like you said. They get the Magnolia Bowl with LSU, but then we get to really embrace the impact of what Oklahoma will bring in that first year as they come into Oxford.
Yeah.
And just get to see the growth, the atmosphere before game day, and that will be a big game.
Oh, it's going to be a massive game. It's definitely going to be a massive game. And I think that, between Kentucky and Oklahoma and State and Georgia all being back, these are all big games. Those are all, of course, Mississippi State travels very well. Oklahoma's going to travel well because it's their first time in the Grove in 20-plus years. Georgia is going to be their first time in the Grove in 12 years. These are teams that are really excited to come play here, and that's going to make it even tougher for us. And you look at our strength of schedule, and I think we're doing pretty good. We're going to have a Florida team that's on the up and up after this year. They lost their quarterback, but I think after this year, having their new freshman quarterback learn the ropes, they're going to be a tough game that we're going to have away in Gainesville. And then I think Arkansas is going to be one of our rivals going forward, which is fine. And, KJ Jefferson will thankfully be gone because he usually gives us a really hard time.
Well, KJ is from here, so
and that's why he gives us a really hard time. Because we should, in the end, we had an opportunity to snag him, and we didn't.
Yeah.
And that's because, just some players slip below the seams, and that's part of being from the great state of Mississippi, and, having one of the best things. How about you? What do you think about South Carolina away, though?
But that's exactly where I was going.
It's a crazy
school. They're kind of like us over there on the East Coast. They really are.
Yeah.
But Shane Beamer is going to have this team.
They're going to be whipped.
Yeah.
They're going to be, some of the best team. I think that Beamer ball is here. Let's be completely honest. Beamer ball is here. They're going to start making a push very soon, like we are right now, to be a dominant force in the SEC. And with these new teams coming in, we talked about it last week on our. We talked about it 2 weeks ago when we were talking about football.
Yeah.
But definitely all these new teams that are coming, or the two new teams coming, and we need to be the top of the bracket. And that's just something that we need to have to where this is where you stand out. If you're below you're below 50%, you're going to get left in the dust. And I think that's just as Well, us and South Carolina are the two up-and-comers of, yeah, we're going to be in the top bracket. That's how we are. And so if you don't know how they were selecting these schedules, they essentially broke up the SEC into two parts. Over the last 5 years, your winning percentage, strength of schedule, and where they think you placed in the SEC. And what's great is they put us at 5th overall in the SEC, so we're in the top half. Right. We're right above Oklahoma and Texas, which you think about them in the past 2 years and go, dang, that's pretty good for us, you know.
Well, I mean, look back at over the past 8 years, we played in 2 New Year's Six bowl games.
Oh yeah,
2 Super Bowls, which is great. You have a wonderful coach who's brought in a
unbelievable amount of hype.
Right,
Let's just say that.
And talent.
Yeah,
and then you have he got 20 wins within 3 years of being here.
Yeah, which is pretty much unheard of.
Yeah, but it really is. And now he's going into his 4th year at one place. He's not done that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it feels like he's here for a long time. Right. And I was really worried when we first got him because he was so, back and forth. And, I want to trade schools. I want to move up. Ole Miss is pretty top at the top. When you go back and forth, you go, yeah, we're here. We're here to stay. And that's how it's supposed to be, and it's how it is. And now I'm really excited because, I'm going down our matchups. I'm thinking Georgia is going to be a tough game. But in, 2 years, especially with our defense picking up the way it is, it's going to be a very tough matchup. We're the number one. We might be the number one offense in 2 years. I could very well see it. Lane Kiffin with his offensive mind and his recruiting power.
And then you have Pete Golding.
You have Pete Golding on defense who can hold that, crummy offense that hasn't been playing too good.
Yeah.
Just because they got number one recruits doesn't mean that we can't outcoach them like Alabama does. And that's what I'm super excited about Pete Golding here too. Is that's just another step up in our game. Mm-hmm. And then you have the Georgia-Florida rivalry that we're both playing. So we're going to play Florida away down in Gainesville, and that's a tough game. And we haven't been able to do that. The last time we did that was 2012, I believe. Yeah, 2012. Yeah. I believe that's right. It's around there. Yeah. But, that's a long time. That's over 10 years. And that just shows you that we're on pace to have this matchup in Gainesville that we're not used to. That is the heat. It's the swamp. That stadium is packed up. And if you think LSU's loud, they're just as loud over there. Oh, yeah. Those are some crazy people.
Now, let's go back to Oklahoma for a minute.
Oh, man, yeah.
There's a storyline coming.
Okay.
Who's the OC at Oklahoma?
Oh, why would you put me on the spot like this? I don't know if I could pull him. Who is it?
Jeff Levy.
Is it Jeff Levy?
It's Jeff Levy.
I didn't realize it was Jeff Levy. Oh, because he went back to his... Oh, okay, yeah. You're completely right.
So in 2 years, you're supposed to have Jeff Levy come back to Oxford if he's still with Oklahoma, which I expect him
I really expect him to be. That's where he wanted to end up anyway.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to have him come face
Pete Gold. And that's just another matchup that we've had in the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. Those two would know each other for a long time. Let me be very honest about that. That those two plan for each other's offenses, and that's what's great. And I think Oklahoma should get blown out by us. They cannot keep up in defense. They're a high-scoring team like we are. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, we're making steps to improve our defense every day. I look at all these recruits coming forward, all the practices that were being held, all the coaching that's coming through, and I'm just like, yes, we're finally doing it. We're going to rush 4 players this year. Mm-hmm. Do you understand how excited I am that we're rushing 4 people? Yeah. How hard was that? Finally, we're going to put a little pressure on a quarterback. Mm-hmm. The only time that we put pressure on the quarterback last year is a 3-man rush versus Kentucky, and they had one of the worst offensive lines in the entire nation.
And the quarterback was hurt.
Yeah, and the quarterback got hurt halfway through the game. Yeah. That's just something that's just... We need to make sure that we keep this defense up because you look at Georgia and you look at Alabama and you look at, Clemson and you look at Texas. What do they all have? They have a good defense. Mm-hmm. And that's the steps that we're making. I think, you're not going to hear a lot from Pete Golding. He's a quieter person on the team. He's not going to be that outspoken guy. And on top of that, Lane Kiffin's all the personality we really need.
And, you look at this. You have...
Utah have been ready to talk about football for a while.
Yeah. You have that. You have this going on, but you also know playoffs coming in 2024. The 12-game playoff.
Oh, yeah. And that's what's looking really good for us, is that I think that we can win most of these. LSU away is always hard, and that's a rival game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think about Ole Miss rivals. I think only Mississippi State and LSU, and I think LSU even more so. I treat more Mississippi State like our kid brother. I mean, they are not the team that I'm always like, oh yeah, I'm worried about. The Egg Bowl is always a rivalry game, and that's really hard to do. But if I think about a rival, I think about LSU across the board. I mean, they are somebody that we played every year for a long time, and they stomp us a lot. And I think that we're just preparing for this 2024 season. I think we're going to stomp them.
For you, not for you looking at what Ole Miss is about to do, you're about to not have to play Hugh Freeze, who just came into the league.
Yeah,
who you'll play one time, and then you might not play him again for a while.
Yeah.
Then you don't play Nick Saban after this year.
Yeah, and that's what's really going to be nice about us. I hope we go in and we're there, right? We're there next year.
We're there.
I couldn't remember which one. Yeah, we are there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna stomp them next year. I hope so. I hope we're just gonna go in there, beat them. Nick Saban can fester for a little bit for those 2 years, and then we come back with a vengeance. We can beat them again. We'll really make them upset. I'm feeling good about it this year, and you look at all. Well, I guess we're talking about this year's schedule too, because I need to. I really do think that we're gonna go 10-2. Here's my saying. I think that we're gonna go beat Tulane in a very close game.
It's going to be a very close game.
It's going to be a very close game. We're figuring out our new defense. We have we're probably going to have a new quarterback. I don't know if Dart's going to be there or but I think after the first game we're going to be like, yes, we're going to start Spencer Sanders, we're going to start Jackson Dart. But really, I'm counting Dart as a new quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
He looks completely different than he did last year. He's able to see over the offensive line, which is awesome. He's able to read players, and it feels like he really did adjust very well to the SEC. Now, saying that, you have a veteran in Spencer Sanders coming in and being able to come in and rock the team and make it happen. And you have that long ball arm that's able to make it. You reminds me of a Matt Corral. Very charismatic, very, well-spoken, and able to get the job done all the time. And that you take that into Tulane, and you're going to be able to beat them. They lost a lot of players after this year, too.
They did, but what scares me about Tulane, and we'll get off this in just a second, but Tulane, it's a situation to where we don't play them in the dome this year. We play them at their house.
Oh yeah,
and we won't have that many fans be able to get tickets. So the atmosphere we'll have to build on energy for the.
I completely agree. And they're one of our first games. That's how our season's going to go. And just to finish my statements, I think that we're going to beat one of the three between LSU at home or Georgia and Alabama away. I mean, you look at Alabama's schedule, we kick them on early in the year. We're the first real challenge that they have. You look at Georgia, who's going to be looking forward in between games from South Carolina, Beamer Ball, us, and then their bye, and then Tennessee. I mean, we're going to our bye, and then their bye, and then us. So, I mean, they're going to be looking forward, I think, to Tennessee, and we're just going to slide under the radar and cause them a real problem. I think that's going to happen across the board. Yeah. Anyway, we can get off this. I'm just, I think it's really coming forward, and it's going to happen soon. But going forward to the next year, who's our out of conference opponents? Do we have any idea yet?
Furman, our
good. I need a cupcake.
Furman, but our Power 5 opponent is Wake Forest.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wake Forest is not an easy opponent either. They're able to get stuff done, and we're going there.
We're going there.
That's what I thought. I thought it was the way. But I mean, yeah, you go into Wake Forest, and that's going to be tough as well. But a lot of these teams, I'm actually really excited. You want to go down the line and say what you think if you're going to win or lose the game? This is way early.
This is way early. Before we do that, let's just look at some of the key matchups across the board for all 16 teams. Of course, we get to keep the Red River shootout between Texas, Oklahoma, and Dallas. Let's see.
Texas A&M, Texas
is back, which is going to... I'm really interested to see if that stays on, if that moves back to Thanksgiving night and what they do about the Egg Bowl, or if they keep it on Saturday afternoon.
I think they might move it to the Friday after. That's what I've been hearing rumors about.
That would be interesting.
That way we go Egg Bowl, you have, the rivalry, Texas rivalry game, I don't know what their game's called, and then you go after that and you have normal Saturday.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I've been hearing is going to happen. One of them that I'm really excited about is that you have Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
That matchup doesn't happen in, I think they said 56 years.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be an interesting matchup to go. And they're going to Gainesville just like us. And that, I believe so, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just a tough game. And that's a long way. That's probably the longest one that's happening in the entire season.
No. Florida goes to Austin.
Florida goes to Austin. Okay,
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which way it was. But exactly, that's a tough game to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Tennessee and who's their other way? Oh god.
Oh, Tennessee.
Tennessee's playing A&M, I think. In A&M.
No, Tennessee's playing Oklahoma and Dallas.
Oh yeah. So that's tough. That's way tough.
No. My bad. Tennessee is playing Oklahoma in
Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Yeah. I was about to say, but wasn't one of their away games?
Georgia.
Oh yeah, but that's tough. You know that Tennessee's gonna have that
Yeah.
game. That's a rivalry that's gone through. Who's their West opponent that they don't usually play against? They play against State. I thought there was another, maybe Alabama. Arkansas is the one.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because they had that game about 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And that game's coming back. I remember how good that one was. And then you look at A&M going into, or South Carolina going to LSU.
Oh yeah.
And that's going to be a tough game.
But one that really sticks out to me is going to be how you have, of course, Alabama and Tennessee get together.
Yeah.
But Florida and Georgia get to continue the cocktail party in Jacksonville.
I mean, that's what you got to do, though. You can't
You
get
really
rid of that
do.
game.
No.
I mean, Georgia's done everything right. They got, you look at their schedule this year, and they got, in some serious trouble because their strength of schedule. But they took away the Oklahoma game.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not their fault. So I think that the least that they can do is be like, yes, we need the world's largest outdoor cocktail party to stay a thing. And, Jacksonville's going to have a new stadium, and it's just going to be crazy. That's what's going to be really awesome about it going forward is that the rivalries are still here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Egg Bowl's still going to happen. Ole Miss versus LSU is still going to happen. And I'm kind of thinking it's going to be more like a pod system than we think.
Right.
You're going to keep a lot of these games that, there would be riots in the streets in Georgia and Gainesville if they didn't play each other.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be pikes and fire and all of that. A bunch of flipped cars. It'd be rioting.
I'm just kind of wondering what it's going to be like once 2024 gets here. How good are these teams going to be once they step into the SEC?
That's what I'm excited about.
Oklahoma.
I'm excited for Texas and Oklahoma to get rocked by every SEC team. Vanderbilt's going to Texas, I think. Mm-hmm. And I think Texas is going to Vanderbilt, excuse me.
No, Texas going to Vanderbilt.
I hope Vanderbilt beats them.
Yeah.
I really do think it could happen. I mean, you're going to have, let's be honest, you got a Manning out there. Yeah. And you're going to have a lot of people rally behind him. But the thing is, they've never seen, both teams are on a completely new schedule.
Right.
That's tough. That is a tough time. You look at Missouri coming in and Arkansas coming in.
Look at Missouri and when A&M came in.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them were like, okay, you'll have a cupcake here and there. But every game is somebody coming for you.
Like, it's a Super Bowl for them, and that's what it is.
I mean,
and you look at our schedule. We're used to, we're getting beat down every week. We have a tough schedule. We have the number one hardest schedule in the league this year, and we're up there every single year. We're in the top 25 because we're in the best conference in the entire nation, and that's what these two teams are coming into. And yes, they're gonna beat some bums over in across the SEC in different sports, but in football. I mean, you come in. I think Florida beats them. I think Vanderbilt might have a shot at them. I mean, across the board, Alabama's going to beat them silly. I think that Texas is the only one that's even going to put up an effort. You look at Oklahoma, and I can't name a player in Oklahoma right now, which is really bad. I think Jeff Lebby might be the only person I know.
Is Alabama and Texas playing 3 years in a row?
Yeah, they are. I think that, because they're playing this year as well, right? Texas is coming to Alabama this year, correct? Or they canceled that game?
No,
I can't remember.
They don't play in 2 years.
They don't?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I couldn't remember. But I thought they played this year.
Oh, they did play this year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But they don't play in 2 years. That makes sense because Alabama's going to Oklahoma. Or Oklahoma's going to Alabama, excuse me. Other way around.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has a hard away schedule. I wasn't thinking about that till right now.
Yeah.
So read off the Oklahoma away. What's
LSU, Auburn, Ole Miss, and Missouri.
So you're going to Hugh Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri, that makes sense. I mean, that's just a rivalry anyway. LSU's tough, Raging Cajuns, and then you're going to Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have Alabama at home, though.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they got Tennessee and South Carolina as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough schedule. They might be strength schedule numero uno.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And, the only thing that stays the same on their schedule is Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume Oklahoma State. And I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know how it's going to work because I know you have to have a Power 5 thing, but like last week when the show came out, when they revealed the schedule, it had TBA and outside who their Power 5 opponent was going to be.
I really do think, it's hard not to continue the OSU rivalry.
Right.
And then, you go, like, our out-of-state, or out of Power 5, out-of-conference games, Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one after that we're in negotiations with, Notre Dame, correct? I thought that we were in negotiations.
For 2027.
2027. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That would be the one at 24, 25, so 26, 27 would be Notre Dame. So Notre Dame we'd go up to see Touchdown Jesus, which would be tons of fun.
Yeah.
And then we'd get to host Notre Dame down here.
Right.
And, beat them up in our own home field. That's a cupcake game every day of the week. I'll take a non-conference person anyway. They're just not that. They're not as good as they usually are.
Yeah, no.
But it's gonna be fun, and I'm really excited about what's coming forward for us.
Oh, it's gonna be very interesting the next couple of years to see. Depending on how this goes, we'll see if it goes to a 9-game schedule.
I think it is. I can't see this being sustainable. You have one cupcake game every year, essentially as your warm-up, or as your mid-season, let's rest some players and check some players out. And then you have your out-of-conference game once a year, and then you got 9 games. And you know what? The 2 people that come out, the top 4 teams that come out of the SEC after that are going to be in the playoffs. Let's be completely honest. No doubt.
Yeah.
There's not a doubt in my mind. You take 4 of the champions, you take 5 champions, and then you take 3 extra teams from the SEC, 3 extra teams from the Big Ten, and then 2 random teams that did really good.
Yeah.
So, that's what this is going to end up being. And you have those random teams like UCF every year and, Coastal Carolina. And you'll take one of those and give them a shot.
12,
exactly.
go have fun.
Yeah, exactly. But, the random teams will come stick out, and then you can make that change. But you want to finish it by giving a rundown of what you think is going to happen that year? Just a way too early
win-loss? We can do it. We can do it way too early.
I'll go first if you want me to.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Georgia, back-to-back losses, back-to-back years. Kentucky, win.
Kentucky win. All right.
State, win.
Yeah.
LSU, coin flip, but I'll give it a loss.
Oh, that's pessimistic. All right.
Okay. Arkansas, win. Florida, loss.
Okay.
South Carolina, toss-up.
Yeah, I'll give it a toss-up.
Oklahoma, win.
Yeah, that's about where I am. I think we're going to have a Georgia close game at home and probably a loss. I think we're going to have a Mississippi State win, Kentucky win, and Oklahoma win. So we win. Out of our 4 home games, we're going to win 3 of them, which is pretty sweet. Arkansas's usually, we just play them bad. Yeah. But I think we win. I think we go and beat Gainesville in Gainesville. I think LSU's going to be tough. I think we lose to LSU. I think it's going to be closer than anybody thinks. Yeah. And I think we go and crush South Carolina. That's Lane Kiffin saying, hey, this is my dynasty. Beamer, me and you are very similar. I've been here way longer. Let me prove to you why. Yeah. And then we're going to go in there and beat them. I don't even think it'll be close. Call it right now. 2 years from now, I think we'll beat them by 7.
South Carolina will not have Spencer Rattler.
No, and they keep recruiting with nothing right now.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I'm seeing it. I think that's an easy dub for, and not even that, we have Walker Howard or a 6-year Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
That's who we're looking at. But realistically, Walker Howard's going to be there. Yeah. And he's just a dominant quarterback already. And he's going to be dominant in the next, 4 years. And it's going to be great to have him.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's our rundown on, sports coming up for the next, or the year after next.
And it's also a look at the schedule for that year.
Oh, absolutely.
So, it's gonna be an interesting time this time next year once we really get Texas and Oklahoma into the league.
Yeah, we'll have a lot better prediction next year, I'm sure.
And we'll kind of know where both of those teams are walking in.
Yep, completely agreed.
It's gonna be an interesting fall this fall as we watch two of our SEC future brethren playing their final year of the Big 12.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and I hope they start beating up the Big 12 and they come here and start losing. Just prove the SEC dominance. Anyway, but it was good to talk to y'all, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
See y'all next week.